Another ICE shooting. The USS Abraham Lincoln is getting closer to Iran, and Trump embarrasses himself at Davos. All right, first ICE shooting. A 37-year-old man, a nurse, was shot and killed by ICE agents. I don't care what his profession is. I just care about how he conducted himself on that scene. And obviously, it looks like he was a protester. Based on what I saw in the video, I'm just going to lay it out what I saw in the video. There was another woman involved. One of the ICE agents walked up to her and pushed the woman down. The 37-year-old guy, Alex, he went to try to pick her up, help her out. And agents swarmed around him, pulled him away. There was a struggle. At one point, he pulled out his phone. He didn't have his gun in his hand or anything. He had his phone out. He was a legal gun owner, legal gun carrier. He wasn't doing anything aggressive with the gun. It didn't appear to be that way. I'm just going by what I saw in the video. And at one point, 3 or so agents had him down on the ground. Doesn't look like he was really punching or anything like that. It could have been resisting, but it didn't look that way to me. It didn't look like he was. It clearly didn't look like he grabbed his gun or anything. But somebody walked up behind. One of the individuals, looked like it was an agent, walked up behind him, picked up the gun, pulled the gun from his person. Maybe it was from the back. Pulled it from his person. It didn't appear like there was a struggle over a gun. One of the agents picked up the gun, and I thought I heard at one point somebody yell "gun" or something after the agent pulled the gun away, and then bang, somebody shot him. And when one person shot him, other agents started to move back, and there was more gunshots. So I counted at least 10 rounds, maybe 10, 11 rounds fired. Here's where some of my speculation comes in. I think when one person shot him and one person yelled "gun," the other cops just responded. Other agents responded. And when the person, I don't know if the person agent who grabbed the gun uttered the word "gun" or whatever. Somebody misinterpreted that as, oh, is gun as active threat. The person may have been saying, "Hey, I have the gun." And, somebody heard the word "gun" and then they reacted that way and shot him. I don't know, but based on what I saw in the video, this guy was not being physically aggressive with the officers, with the agents. He had a phone in his hand. They were not de-escalating. If anything, it looked like the victim was trying to de-escalate. They got him down on the ground. So one of the agents pulled his gun out from, I think, in his waistband behind or something. And then he was shot. So he was definitely unarmed when he was shot. And shot several times, about 10 times, 10 or 11 times. That's what I saw. How do you justify this? Chrissy Nome was basically on TV saying that this guy was an armed threat. He had a gun and ammunition, which, okay, we're allowed to have gun and ammunition, even in Minnesota, apparently. I think they still respect some of the Second Amendment. He had a license, but anyway. She made it seem like he came there with a gun to hurt people. I didn't see him pointing a gun at anybody. I didn't see the Alex or the victim pointing a gun at anybody. So what the hell? Yeah, you can have ICE being used to deport people, and you can have a situation where some of them do the wrong thing and kill somebody unnecessarily, illegally. Two things can be true. And it looks like people aren't willing to acknowledge that. This is what happens when you have partisan politics and you have two sides who hate one another. Definitely, I'm obviously on the right. You guys know that. But, I don't mind calling out people on the left or the right who are doing things I think are not appropriate. Anyway, it's pretty clear that was not a good... well, at least from my perspective, based on what I saw in that video, it didn't look good to me. It didn't look like a good legal shoot to me. But again, I couldn't see all the little details in a potential struggle or whatever. You guys share your thoughts. Good luck defending this, but I think ICE needs to be focused on the employers. Okay, first focus on illegal immigrants taking taxpayer money through the benefits programs. Okay, then also focus on the employers, people who employ them. Why aren't these individuals, the employers, employing illegal immigrants, being held accountable? There's no consequences for them. There's no financial consequences for them. That's what you need to be doing instead of struggling with everybody in the street. Yeah, you can focus on the criminals. You got to get them out physically. But everybody else, you should cut off the benefits. You cut off the employment. You do something about the housing. Make sure that, hey, it's for American citizens, people are supposed to legally be here. Yeah, a lot of people will head on out of here. But, I mean, that seems to be what they would do if they were competently trying to deal with the immigration situation, deportation situation. I don't know what Trump's real motivation behind this. I don't even know if he's making any real decisions, because there's some serious questions about his mental capacity. Davos, his speech was embarrassing. Okay, yeah, he mixed up Iceland with Greenland. He's definitely forgetting stuff. He's falling asleep in speeches. What the hell is he doing with Greenland and all these situations? If he wants the United States to leave NATO, then he can ask Congress to move forward with that action. But they're not going to do that. So he can at least defund the Ukraine war. He can stop sending them money, stop sending Ukraine our money. That's something he could do. That's something practical he could do. But he's a complete mess. Okay. Obviously, there's questions about that big mark on his left hand. There's questions about his walk, his gait, all this stuff. It's questions about the frontal lobe situation. You know, does he have some form of dementia? These are questions that people are asking. People on the left are definitely pointing this stuff out. But here's a problem. You had a guy in the White House named Joe Biden who had the same issues. And you didn't say nothing then. So Democrats definitely have a real credibility issue. They didn't speak up when Biden was clearly not fit to be president. So now it's going to be difficult to hold anybody else accountable. Anyway, speaking of Trump, he said something about foreign European troops and their performance in Afghanistan, which turned out to not be true. He said they weren't on the front lines. That simply wasn't true. And it's kind of awkward for a guy who dodged the draft to be making those type of comments. Maybe he is seriously dealing with some frontal lobe issues. He's saying stuff that he's thinking that he's not supposed to be saying. That's what your that's what that part of your brain really does for the most part. Sort of act as a filter, it prevents you from saying stuff that you really shouldn't be saying. And apparently that's not working anymore. I mean, he's always said crazy stuff, but that's just really, really stupid. He really pissed off a lot of our allies. It's embarrassing. Anyway, the USS Abraham Lincoln is headed towards the Middle East, and is apparently going to be working with a bunch of F-35Cs from the Marines. So this Iran situation might still be going forward. We might still end up going to war with Iran. So definitely a concern, but I also wonder who's really making this call. With that said, some things you should know about the kill switch, that Biden era kill switch push. Well, Thomas Massie tried to put in an amendment that would remove that, and that failed. A number of Republicans joined Democrats in supporting and basically getting rid of that. So the government, apparently, they're going to have some type of kill switch for vehicles, and apparently it's going to be used to stop drunk drivers and whatever. Okay, it's BS. That's what they want. Republicans or Democrats, these people who work for the same entities, they want control. They don't want you to be able to drive from point A to point B. They want to control every aspect of your money. That's why this digital money, digital ID crap is so important to them. They want total control. So if you don't do what they want you to do, they can ruin you financially, completely prevent you from going to work, completely control your life. That's what they want to do. And it's not a Republican Democrat thing. And I don't know what's the real motivation behind what's going on in Minnesota. Like I said, if they really wanted to crack down on immigration nationwide, they would do some of the stuff that I was basically describing earlier in this video. So you guys share your thoughts on the ICE situation. Do you think we're really going to war with Iran? And what do you think about Thomas Massie? The real conservatives are taking action. Of course, Trump is revealing himself to be anything. Well, he's not truly a real conservative. But, hey, I still want to see good things happen for this country. I wanted Trump to be successful. I voted for him, and this is what we got. All right, you guys, share your thoughts. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Don't forget the future belongs to those who prepare for it today.